What is up, you guys? It's been like 48 hours since my last live show. And it's really funny about that last live show. Maybe I jumped the gun a little too quickly. Is that the saying or whatever? Because I remember saying this certain Deandre Ayton trade rumor doesn't work, and here's why. Go check out that live show, by the way. And then all of a sudden, we start getting flooded with this Deandre Ayton stuff. And to be honest with you guys, look, you guys know me. I do my best to bring you guys the best Phoenix Suns coverage that I can. But with the rumors that we're about to go over and all the DA stuff that you guys watched, listened to, read about yesterday, I even tweeted out a picture of Morgan Freeman, and it was that one meme or whatever that's like, learn to sit back and not overreact to everything, or you know what I mean? Tweeted that out because, to be honest with you guys, I really did want to sit and kind of process all this and see what was going to happen. And I'm actually going to talk about that a little later, because if you guys have been living under a rock or you haven't been paying attention the last 24, 48 hours, something is definitely brewing here. Something is definitely cooking here, if you will. But a lot of it is just rumors. And something that I'm going to talk about later, and I don't mean to sound like the Suns gatekeeper here, is people and their, quote, sources. You know what I mean? It's getting out of hand. But we're going to talk about that later. So if you guys have missed all the reports and the rumors and the headlines, the Phoenix Suns are trading for Damian Lillard. Oh, and sources are telling me that we're also getting OG Anunoby, and we're going to get Giannis and all these other players, right? Because I'm totally connected and I have tons of sources. So that's pretty much what's happening. That's the end of the live show. I'll see you guys later. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, a lot of rumors floating around. So I'm going to do my best to try to go throughout the timeline. We're going to also listen to some stuff, and then we're going to read some stuff. Maybe later I'll open up the phone lines, or as I call them, the phone lines, get some of you guys on. Then we're going to react to some Suns jersey stuff. And if you guys got a question, comment, concern, let me know. I'll do my best to get to it. But before we do any of that, I got to open up a good old-fashioned Coca-Cola, and then we'll get started, y'all. Let me know what you're drinking in the chat. This will help keep me awake during this. Cheers. Oh, yeah. Oh, I got the hiccups already. Excuse me. All right, y'all. Let's do this. Okay. So I'm sure you guys already saw this clip, or maybe you actually listened to the show, but it was John Gambadoro from Arizona Sports, or John Gambo, who, in my personal opinion, I do believe that he is pretty well connected, especially when it comes to the Phoenix Suns, and he does have his sources and stuff, which, again, we're going to talk about all that later. I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant, but we'll talk about that later. So real quick, let's just react to this clip from John Gambo. Let me know if we're doing okay, guys. My stream's kind of acting weird, and I know that YouTube was sort of acting up earlier. Let me know if we're looking and sounding okay. All right. So let's go ahead and listen to John Gambo and listen to what he has to say. Now, again, this was from about 24 hours ago, I believe. Why isn't this working? What is going on with my life? Thank you, Backcourt Highlights. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. One man show here. You guys already know how it works. All right, y'all, let's do this. So here's what John Gambadoro said about, 24 hours ago, if not less or sooner. But here's what he said. So he said, well, instead of reading it to you guys can just watch this little clip from Arizona Sports.
I am expecting, from what I'm hearing, a Damian Lillard trade.
Let me go back and try that.
I am expecting, from what I'm hearing, a Damian Lillard trade. Now, I will just say this. The Suns all summer have not been willing to trade Deandre Ayton because they think he fits very well. And be honest, there were just no offers that would change that. We've reported this all summer. The Suns have no interest in the Suns were not going to trade Ayton. part of that is, of course, what we've discussed, that there were no good offers. They were not going to sell Ayton for 50 cents on the dollar. The market for DA was low. The value was not something. They were not going to take 50 cents on the dollar for Deandre Ayton. Now, if the Portland trade does, and Portland did not want Deandre Ayton, but that was based very much on they had Damian Lillard. They were not going to put Deandre Ayton with Damian Lillard. If Damian Lillard does get traded, which I'm expecting to happen, then it'll be very interesting to see if Nurkic is on the table. I would be surprised if the Suns don't look at that.
Okay. So again, that was last night's thing. And it was John Gambo from Arizona Sports, and then, Flex from Jersey, from PHNX, Gerald Bourguet, all of them, they were all over it, right? And that's cool. That's another reason why I was kind of like waiting, because I wanted to see what was going to happen. Because, like, sure, I could have went live last night, and I probably should, but my guys over at the Suns Jam Session podcast had you guys covered, because they went live and they talked about it and gave their thoughts. So, I slept on it, and apparently there were supposed to be fireworks this morning, and that didn't happen. Nothing happened in the afternoon time. I went into work and all that. I was checking my phone and all that. Nothing happened. So then Woj was on I believe it was the NBA Today. Now let me just share my screen real quick. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted for this. But anyways, Woj was on NBA Today, and this is what Woj said. Now this does not include Deandre Ayton, but this is, this does sort of involve it in a way. This was really all about Damian Lillard. So here's what Woj had to say about the recent, Damian Lillard, Miami Heat stuff. Here's what Woj has to say.
Yeah, those talks have intensified this week with Damian Lillard, but still, there's no trade imminent. And listen, we talked about this throughout the summer, that this would pick up once we got past Labor Day and training camp. The opening of training camp loomed, and that's exactly what's happened. You have Portland trying to, not only talk to teams who have an interest in Lillard, but lots of teams who'd like to get in on a bigger deal. Can they pick up a couple draft picks to take on some money? Is there a need that they have that they can get in a 3 or 4 team trade? So Portland, they're exhausting all of those conversations this week, and they're certainly behaving like a team that wants to get a deal done, that is trying to get a deal done before training camp. Now, so far, the one element that has not been a part of these talks are the Miami Heat, but we know in trade talks and conversations that can change in one moment with one call.
So let me just say this, y'all. Let me just say this. The very ending of what Adrian Wojnarowski said, or Woj, he said, like, I believe he said, like, Miami isn't talking or whatever, and a trade is not, going to happen just yet. But he said, all of that could change, like, in a moment with one call. I 110% agree with him. And look, whether you believe or not that Flex has the sources, or John Gambo, or heck, even me, because I have no sources, but whoever, you watching right now could have sources. Whether you believe that or not, any of these trade talks, Damian Lillard, heck, even James Harden, that whole situation, DeAndre Ayton, Nurkic, any of that could change. Is if I was the GM and I picked up the phone and called team X or Y or Z. So I do agree with him on that. And that is something that I think gets overlooked. And that's why, like, I sort of understand why some of these people are like, I'm hearing this, I'm hearing that. But then, like, we could all wake up tomorrow and it's a completely different situation and it's a completely different trade or whatever. So pretty much from what I'm gathering from all of this is a Damian Lillard trade is definitely on the horizon. Clearly it didn't happen today, but heck, we could all wake up tomorrow and it could happen. I doubt a Damian Lillard trade news is going to break during football Sunday and all that, but you never know. Who cares? It is what it is. But it could happen Monday. So then I watched that NBA Today clip with Woj. And then about maybe 2 hours ago, I meant to go live sooner, but I had to, like, get everything prepared. this is where the story kind of intensified. And this particular NBA insider I actually had on my channel once, and I want to get him back on so him and I can have like a proper conversation. Go and check that out. It was with Jake Fisher of Yahoo Sports. And that is actually the next segment here, if you will, where things kind of get interesting. Now, obviously, it is a huge read. I'm not going to sit here and read you this whole article word for word because it would be really boring. And you guys know I can't read. But this is on Yahoo Sports. So the article, let me fix this so it looks better for your guys' viewing pleasure. The article is called The Damian Lillard Saga, How Things Are Shaping Up and What Factors Are Playing In. Keep in mind, he just posted this at like 7 o'clock. So it was like a couple hours ago. So I'm going to kind of scroll down a little bit. Where it really starts is right here. And again, I'm going to try not to read you this word for word because that gets really boring. I'm just going to try to read you guys the highlights here. And again, it's a big article. So if I miss something from this Jake Fisher article, please let me know. And then we're going to talk about some other stuff. I'll kind of give you guys my final thoughts. We're going to react to some Suns jerseys. And yeah. All right. So kind of like we just went over. Assembling such a blockbuster deal requires the, I can't read already. Assembling such a blockbuster deal of many parts, one piece developing in the guys, I'm so sorry. You guys know I can't read. Let's just start here. Portland has strongly considered acquiring Phoenix Suns center Deandre Ayton as part of a multi-team deal for Lillard. League sources confirmed to Yahoo Sports, Arizona Sports, and PHNX previously reported on the Suns' potential involvement. So that's pretty much what we just went over. And real quick, that can kind of get a little, it's not really Jake Fisher's fault, but like, I feel like that might get a little misinformed because it kind of sounds like the Suns are trying to make a trade for Damian Lillard, which I joked about earlier in the show. The Suns are not trading for Damian Lillard. But then again, I had no clue we were going to trade for Bradley Beal, and all of a sudden we traded for Bradley Beal. So who knows? But anyway, so that's where it really all started. The Blazers have registered interest in Ayton in the past, sources said, which is true. I've made videos about it, live shows and everything. This current idea appears focused on sending Portland center Yusuf Nurkic back to Phoenix, therefore supplying the Suns with a suitable defensive anchor for new head coach Frank Vogel and a pick and roll partner for Phoenix's array of perimeter playmakers, who is not expecting the volume of touches Ayton is believed to desire on offense. Now, I saw the Twitter reaction earlier, when John Gambo pretty much tweeted that out when he said, oh, the Suns should look at Nurkic for this reason, that reason, because he's a defensive-minded center. I saw a couple tweets, and look, you guys, I don't want to sound like a Yusuf Nurkic expert because I'm really not. I don't think Nurkic is as bad as people are believing. I think people just sometimes see things and they're like, oh, this player is terrible, or this player can't do this, this player can't do that. He's not as bad as Suns Twitter's making him out to be, but is Deandre Ayton a better player than he is? Absolutely. And I will, you guys know me. I always criticize Ayton a lot, but I will say that a million times. Ayton is a better player than Nurkic. And that's where I feel like a lot of this reporting, rumors, is sort of getting twisted around in the wrong way. That's why I said, like, the way that this is being worded, it might appear as if the Suns are trying to trade for Lillard and Nurkic. And my point being is, like, the Suns will be receiving probably a couple pieces back, not just Nurkic, because it just wouldn't make any sense, in my opinion, to trade DeAndre Ayton for Nikola Jokic. Or not Nikola Jokic. What am I talking about? Yusuf Nurkic. I'm so stupid, you guys. Anyways, let's keep going, y'all. Let's keep going. So he talks about how, this trade can get tricky. There There was also some other things that I want to read in here, but let me find it real quick. What they do not need is a potentially now. Okay, this part I really like. So he's talking about, KD, Booker, Beal, et cetera, et cetera. And he's talking about the Phoenix Suns here with their title hopes and all that. What they do not need is a potentially aggrieved, is that how you pronounce that word? Big man who thinks the Suns are actively trying to move him for Nurkic. Yet there is an argument to be made that splitting Ayton's contract on Phoenix's books into two valuable rotation pieces, so it'd be Nurkic and somebody else, would provide Vogel with significant depth and boost those championship aspirations. That comes from Jake Fisher, and he wrote it a lot better than I read it to you guys. But that is a key segment right there. Let me know if we're still live, guys, because my internet is kind of acting up. I can see a little bar or whatever, and it's kind of acting weird. Give me a thumbs up or something in the chat if we're still looking and sounding good. Anyways. So again, you guys, that's where a lot of this trade, rumors, speculation, all that stuff is getting a little misinformed. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, M. Cole 42. I appreciate it. Thank you, Tony. So yeah, that's where I think it's getting a little confusing, because I give it a 1% chance the Suns somehow land Damian Lillard in a surprise trade. And what percentages would I give the Suns trading Deandre Ayton for Yusuf Nurkic? Because these rumors have accelerated in the last probably less than 48 hours, 24 hours, because these rumors have, they keep flowing. This person is hearing this from this source and this person's reporting on this. I give the Phoenix Suns trading Deandre Ayton a 45%. I can't go 50% or higher with the Suns trading Deandre Ayton. Because if you missed the last show, it's because it just doesn't make sense for the reasons that I talked about last live show. And I'll just quickly go over those reasons. New coaching staff with a great coach who's won a championship in Frank Vogel, a brand new big three in Beal, Booker, and KD, great role players in depth, and again, just pretty much an all-around new Suns team for the most part. Plus everything great that Matt Ishbia is doing. It just doesn't make any sense. But as Woj said at the very end of that clip that we watched earlier, all of this could change with one phone call. Now, there's a lot of people out there who are more educated on the Damian Lillard stuff than I am. And this might sound like a cliche narrative, but I'm also kind of getting tired of the Damian Lillard stuff. I thought I would never say that because I love Damian Lillard. But I'm kind of getting tired of it as well. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean that Dame's going to get traded tomorrow. And if all of these reports and rumors are true, there might have to be a third or even a fourth team involved. We could see like a mega blockbuster deal here. But I just, right now, I give it like a 45%, maybe less, that the Suns would trade Deandre Ayton for Yusuf Nurkic. Now, another interesting thing here, and I hope I'm reading this right, y'all. Again, I can link this article in the chat if you want. I'll definitely link it after the show. Jake Fisher put this out a couple hours ago. Now, and again, it could just be a rumor here. How do I get this back on the screen? Here we go. Could just be a rumor here. Nothing's official. I think he also, because he was going over Nurkic's contract and all that, and I believe he mentions OG Anunoby, who also has been in Suns rumors, and I've made videos on that. So Nurkic's average annual salary, $17.5 million, is roughly half of Ayton's $33 million paycheck, blah, blah, blah. So accounting that would need to take place to satisfy the part of the Lillard puzzle. Adding perhaps the $18 million salary of Raptors forward OG Anunoby would help match the money in the event that Masai Ujiri's office finally moves on from one of its prized core pieces. And then he also adds, having flirted with several trade scenarios before February's deadline and throughout the offseason, because it seems like before these Dame and James Harden trade rumors started, it seemed like OG Anunoby was always that guy who was in trade rumors, but nothing happened. Heck, I remember making videos about OG Anunoby to the Suns. Then he goes on, all that flirting with just little outcome, aside from adding back Jakob Poeltl, has left of plenty of NBA figures skeptical that Toronto will actually pull the trigger. Moving Anunoby and other compensation for Lillard, though, is much different, blah, blah, blah. He goes on and on. It's a long read, y'all. And again, that's not Jake Fisher saying, oops, I hit my mic. That's not Jake Fisher saying, the Raptors are going to trade OG Anunoby and the Suns are going to trade this. But he's just going over the facts, going over the salaries. And sort of like how I did last live show, I went on a Chicago Bulls rant. Maybe later I'll go on a Toronto Raptors rant, but spoiler alert, I think they're in the same boat as the Bulls. I think they either need to blow it all up or just do a strong retool, because that team, they're almost as frustrating as the Chicago Bulls are. I don't know what they're doing. Probably was a good thing that Fred VanVleet got out of there. But anyways, let me take a sip of my Coke, and then we will continue on here. All right. So, just making sure I'm not missing anything on my phone. All right. So that's pretty much it, y'all, in terms of this Deandre Ayton stuff. Now, keep in mind, I'm recording this. I keep hitting my mic. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm recording this September 22nd at 9:30. And keep in mind, less than like 12 hours ago, 24 hours ago, this was really when all these Deandre Ayton rumors started floating in. I've had people DM me. I've been in group chats. I just don't see a scenario where Deandre Ayton gets traded. That's why I gave it a 45%. And you guys know me, like I got a lot of respect for Flex from Jersey, and I like John Gambo and everything. I got to mute somebody who's spamming as well. Don't spam your comments, y'all. I can see every comment that goes through. Anyways, what was I trying to say? So Flex from Jersey, he's a great guy. He's been on the show. I believe he really does have sources and everything. John Gambo's plugged in my opinion, especially when it comes to the Suns. And you guys know me. I try to look at things through both sides of the coin. Sometimes I overreact to things. Sometimes I underreact. So I give Deandre Ayton being traded a 45% chance, whether that's tomorrow, whether that's in a week, or whether it's right before training camp, which, by the way, if you're wondering, is October 3rd. Training camp begins October 3rd, and Phoenix Suns Media Day is October 2nd. I will be live during or after Media Day, by the way, just so you guys know. So I give the Ayton trade possibility a 45%. What would we receive back? Obviously, Nurkic, apparently. I really doubt they would trade Shaedon Sharpe. Maybe some picks. I don't know. I don't know what a trade looks like. I'm sure that people on Twitter and all these other YouTube channels have gone over trades. But it's just not, it just doesn't make sense. Even if, and I heard Ron Wolfley from Arizona Sports talking about this earlier, even if KD and Booker, which this is a completely different conversation for later, but even if for some reason, and there's no proof around this, but even if for some reason Booker and KD went to James Jones and Matt Ishbia and all them and said, we want Ayton gone, it still just doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? And I even said this last show. I said, I doubt that James Jones, like let's say James Jones and I were really cool, or let's say one of you guys knew James Jones very well and he was feeding you all this information. if you or I asked James Jones, hey, is Deandre Ayton getting traded? What's going on here? I honestly doubt he would say, I think he would say no. I believe he would say no. I just don't see it, man. And, Portland, it all depends what they do with Damian Lillard. Maybe we could see a scenario where Dame gets traded first and then Nurkic, and then they kind of just build around Scoot and Shaden Sharp and maybe Anthony Simons if he's still there. You know what I mean? I'm just reacting here. I don't know, you guys. I truly believe your guess is as good as mine. I give it a 45% chance that Deandre Ayton gets traded. But I will repeat something that Woj said, and I think that is getting overlooked in this whole situation. I think that a lot of this could change with one phone call. You know what I mean? I do believe that. And I see a comment from Marco. Nurkic brings that dog Ayton is lacking. I also do believe that Nurkic is a little bit better than Suns Twitter is giving him credit for. Not saying he's better than Deandre Ayton. I said that earlier. He's not better than Deandre Ayton, but he's not as garbage as a lot of you are thinking. Now, the Damian Lillard stuff, I'm not even going to touch that because there's just people that are always educated or better educated than I am with that stuff. Not even going to try to touch that. Don't even know what a Dame Lillard trade looks like. And who knows? I'm tired of that Dame situation. It's just, I don't know. So I think that's it in terms of the Deandre Ayton stuff. Don't go anywhere, y'all. We're not done here. We still got a little bit more to go over. Maybe I'll open up the phone lines here, and then I kind of want to go on a couple small rants. We'll see, though. And again, I'm keeping my eye on the chat. If you guys have a question, comment, etc., real quick, I'll address one comment. The Suns are not imploding, Eddie. They're just getting started, man. Because again, a lot of this is rumors. A lot of this is just speculation. And even if for some reason they did trade Deandre Ayton, they're still going to be one of the best teams in the league. You can quote me on that. So, all right. Let's see. Real quick, let's get to a comment that Will left here. Seems like around the league, center isn't a position of value like a running back in the NFL. Front offices would rather have a lot of wing depth than a $30 million center who is only top 10, 20 at his position. I slightly agree. I kind of get what you're saying there, Will, but the reason I agree with you is because I'm like an old school basketball fan, and I believe that in any era, like, yes, even back in the 50s, 60s, a team full of wings was a great thing to have. Now, obviously, back then, that was when Wilt and Bill Russell and all them were dominating, but you never have too many wings, and I really do believe that. But I don't know. And that's where, Will's comment here is pretty good because I feel like this could be a whole show in itself, but it just goes to show how much the center position has evolved, even the power forward position. But I pretty much agree with you there, Will. That was a good comment. All right, y'all. So I wanted to react to a couple things here. And again, try to get your comments, questions in. I'll try to address them. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything here. Okay. Okay, I think I already read all that. All right, cool. So let's react to something. The Phoenix Suns shared this earlier. And I like talking about this stuff. You guys know that I like to go over jerseys and uniforms, but this was actually put out by the Phoenix Suns. And it is their association edition, so their home uniform schedule. And they also put out like the statement schedule and all that stuff. We're going to go over that in a minute. So there's the picture right there. Devin Booker. I like that angle that they have Devin Booker in the jersey. Yes, he's wearing the white t-shirt. So that was probably taken the same day. But here is the actual schedule. The first time we're going to wear these jerseys is Tuesday, October 10th, which I believe is our second preseason game. Yeah, or no, it's our third one. I'm sorry. That's our third preseason game. Then we're going to wear them again. Oh, wait, no, I'm getting my teams mixed up. Okay, so the first time we're going to wear this, Tuesday, October 10th in the preseason. It's the Suns' first home preseason game versus the Nuggets. By the way, y'all, I will be in Phoenix during that day, and I'm going to try to go to the game. If not, at least be downtown for the game. So if you see me, please come say hello. Please come be part of the vlog and everything. We'll talk about that later. Then we're wearing them again on the 16th, and there's the rest of the schedule. So we're going to be wearing those jerseys then. Then they also tweeted out, let me just click out of here real quick. They had, I got to find it. Give me a second here, y'all. Technical difficulties. So here is their icon jerseys right here, the purple ones. That's what I'm going to call them, the purple ones. First time we're going to wear these Thursday, November 2nd against the San Antonio Wembies. Also, we play on Halloween against the Wembies, but we're not wearing those jerseys though that day. So there's the rest of the schedule right there. The last time before the playoffs when we wear these are April 9th. And then, I see a couple comments about the hold on. And I want to make sure I'm pronouncing this right. The City Edition jerseys that they're going to be wearing. I'm just going to call them the City Edition jerseys because I cannot pronounce.
El Valle.
I cannot pronounce.
El Valle.
My guy DJ Ocho did that for me because I legit cannot pronounce that to save my life. So that's that schedule. And then finally, until they finally announce the
El Valle.
El Valle. Did I say it right? Until they announce those jerseys, here is the Statement Edition. So these are the black ones, which we will wear on Halloween versus San Antonio Wembies. There's the rest of the schedule right there. I see that we're wearing them against the Timberwolves, who just brought back those, white and green and blue ones back from like the 90s, They just released their jerseys. So yeah, that's that schedule. And speaking of jerseys, y'all, let me just click out of this. Let's go here. Speaking of jerseys, and I don't know if my guy Casey is still in the chat, but Proline Mockups tagged me in this post, and they came up with a jersey. Sorry, y'all, give me a second here. What is going on with my life? They came up with a jersey that I can't. Here it is. So this comes from Pro Line Mockups. They came up with a jersey concept, and I'll full screen it so you guys can see it here. This is their Phoenix Suns 7 seconds or less. Oops, that's not the right screen. 7 seconds or less black alternate. Can't believe they never did this, says Pro Line Mockups. They tagged me in that post. Thank you for tagging me, by the way. And you know what? These jerseys, some people love them. Some people hate them. I didn't mind these jerseys too much. And I know this might sound like an unpopular opinion. I low-key really did like those orange and gray ones. I know gray isn't part of our color scheme at all. And I guess they kind of do make a good point. Can't believe the Suns never did these jerseys. Again, it was a different time. We had just gotten Steve Nash, I believe, when those jerseys came out and everything. And, it was a long time ago. But this is a cool concept. And I just thought I would react to it. I like these jerseys. And I was talking to Casey, a couple nights ago. I love how they made this picture. Like you can see more of the jersey because, there's lots of jersey concepts out there and it's usually like the same template and everything. But I like how this is from a different angle. It's in your face. It's big. I love it. Pause. You know what I mean? But it's a cool jersey. Purple, black, orange, white. It's great. I love it. Thought it was a cool jersey. Had to react to it. And yeah. All right, y'all. Here's where I might receive a little bit of flack, but I do not regret any of these words I am about to say. Remember earlier in the show when I was kind of joking about me having sources and all that? Well, I really do feel like a lot of these quote, or how do I say this? I really do feel like a lot of these people who have these quote sources, I might regret saying this. I might get stoned for this. I might get a lot of flack for saying this, but I really do mean it. I think a lot of it is BS. I'm just going to go out and say it. And that is that I'm not trying to say anything bad about my guy Flex, and I respect John Gambo, and there's other people that I know. I got a lot of respect for a lot of different people. And I will never have any of these sources, so you guys can call me bitter, salty, whatever. But I think a lot of these people that have, quote, sources is BS. And even if they do have sources, I doubt it. You know, it's like Woj said, any of this could change with a phone call. It seems like everybody is an NBA insider now. Everyone's got connections now, especially since these Deandre Ayton to Portland Blazer trade rumors started. And I was going to tweet sort of my thoughts on this, but I saw a couple people, including, I think even Channing Frye tweeted something like this. But if you guys follow a lot of the Suns podcasts out there, Brandon Clean from Locked On Suns, he does a great job. I watch a lot of his shows. And maybe I'm misreading what he said here, but he kind of took the words out of my mouth, but less salty words. He said this: the NBA, quote, insiders being too beholden to their sources to give us new updates about obvious new momentum behind a Damian Lillard trade is exactly what's wrong with NBA reporting. Now, again, he might be talking about something completely different. I don't think he was taking shots at any Suns people, but he is kind of right. And maybe I'm misreading what he said. Maybe if he was on the show, he would say, that's not what I said at all, Suns Geek, you're tripping. But I just think a lot of these people and their quote sources are BS. And Marco kind of says it perfectly here. Nah, we get you, Suns Geek. I'll believe it until I see it. And I was DMing some people too, and in some group chats, and people are like, until Deandre Ayton is actually traded, they're not believing anything. So instead of me just ranting and sounding salty and all that, I'm just going to end it with this. Believe what you want to believe. And I've said this on past shows. You guys can go back and listen. I've said this on past shows. You can believe who you want to believe. You can listen to what you want to listen to, including myself. You don't have to listen to me if you don't want to, which I do appreciate if you are listening, by the way. But just be careful and don't believe everything you read. You know what I mean? And don't believe the cliche narratives out there. You know, do your own research. So my rant is over there. I don't know. You guys want me to like open up the phone lines? You guys got a question, a comment, concern? I don't know. Let me know. I'll get to a couple comments in the chat. We'll see. A little bit of a shorter show, but I just had to sort of break my quote silence on this DA stuff because the rumors started heating up and I had to just give my opinion. You know what I mean? So, all right, let's see here. Jason says, if the Suns want to win now, Ayton has to be traded. I don't agree with that, but you know, everyone has their opinion. If I'm reading your name right, Derek says, what seed do you think the Suns are going to be? Great question, Derek. While we're waiting for some more comments and questions to roll in here, I'll quickly touch on this. And I'm sure there's a lot of teams I'm forgetting, but the West got a lot better. A lot of teams out there got a lot better. I truly believe that there's probably only going to be maybe 3-4 teams, maybe 5 max that are, quote, tanking. I truly believe we'll have like 5, maybe 6 teams at the very bottom of the standings that have like no chance of getting in. And then there's going to be what? 10, 9 teams from each conference that are obviously the contenders. middle of the pack, and then play-in teams. That's how good and solid a lot of teams, they had great off seasons and teams have improved. So to answer your question, I think worst case scenario, let's say the Suns have a pretty healthy year and everything's going well and they don't trade Ayton. I would say second, if not first seed. I can't see us falling past fourth. That would be terrible. But I do believe this. Let's say the Suns did fall to 4. I think they're still going to be one of the best teams in the league, and we're going to be super hard to beat in the playoffs. Let me know where you guys have the Suns in the standings. And let me know how many games you think they're going to win. I believe last time I was asked that question, I think I said like 57 or 50-ish, something like that. I don't know. All right, let's see. Ted says, I want to see DA play under Vogel. Exactly. DA was awesome this summer for the Bahamas. That's pretty much my last live show right there, y'all. Summed up in one comment. That's pretty much what I talked about last live show. So I 100% agree. Will says, great question, Will. Thank you for this. I appreciate it. What would you want for DA to make it feel like an equal return? Man. Now, again, I'm sure that, in fact, I've already seen it. You know how Suns Twitter goes with those trade machines and all that. I don't know, but I will kind of answer the last part of your question. An equal return. And sometimes you have to take players at their positions, no matter who they are. You just have to. So I think Nurk would obviously be in there. The Blazers would have to throw in some kind of young, promising talent and maybe a pick or two. And that might sound greedy, but again, Deandre Ayton is the better player in this. Plus, you have to match salaries and all that. And as you kind of mentioned, equal return. But again, maybe I'm forgetting about a player on their roster. I doubt they throw in Shaedon Sharpe. I doubt they throw in Anthony Simons, because let's be real, it's not like they're trading for Joel Embiid or Nikola Jokic or something. It's not like they're doing that. But Ayton is the best player outside of Damian Lillard in this trade. So not sure if that really answers your question, but that's, they got to get something back if this trade even does go down. CR Jesus says, or I hope I pronounced that right, says Suns need a very good big man. Marco says media day is going to suck if Ayton is still on this team. Ooh, I like your comment here. And spoiler alert, I have a video. I might actually go live. We'll see. I have a video idea coming up where I'm going to be talking about media. I don't know if I necessarily agree with this, Marco, but I am glad that you brought it up. It's going to be a little awkward. I'll just say that. In terms of the Ayton stuff, like when the media is talking to Ayton, it's going to be awkward. But I don't think it's going to suck necessarily. And again, more on that at a later date, because I have a video or a live show coming, which I'm really excited for, with a couple of guests. So yeah. Let's see. Let's get to a couple more comments here, then we'll wrap everything up, y'all. Where did all these comments go? Sacramento stole the color scheme from Phoenix. I'm sorry, said Eddie. I don't know, man. Let's see. Where did all these comments go? Give me 1 second here, you guys. DC says, Nurkic definitely is more of a dog than Ayton. We need it with our snipers. I sort of agree with that. It's, I at least I agree in terms of Nurkic has more of a dog in him. But again, at the end of the day, Ayton's the better player. Tony says, Flex and Gambo do not fall in this category. Now, D. Coldest, on the other hand, he's the definition of that, Suns geek. I can't confirm or deny if D. Coldis has sources or not, but if you're on Suns Twitter, you know what I'm talking about. Logan says, just getting here. An Ayton Nurkic trade completely depends on what the other players, and he puts players in there, we get back. It's always smart to see what's available, even if we don't end up making a big trade. And look, I agree with Logan here. Even if you do not believe Gambo or Flex or whoever, read the last part of Logan's comment. It's always smart to see what's available, even if they don't end up making a trade. And maybe these people who are in the offices and are spreading the information out to the public, these quote sources, maybe that's what they're doing. And let's be real. James Jones, I said this last show, he's going to keep picking up those phones because he's always going to try to improve this team. Even after the excellent offseason that we had, he's always going to keep trying to improve this team. Also, quick side note, I know there's going to be some training camp signings coming soon, and who knows, maybe we'll sign somebody, maybe there'll be a trade. It's weird, y'all, because in my personal opinion, NBA Media Day is when the season starts, but because of all this Damian Lillard stuff and now this Deandre Ayton stuff, it kind of seems like the NBA season already started. Preseason is what, like 2 weeks away or less? Less than 2 weeks away? Thank you for the great comment, Logan. Let's get to a couple more, y'all. I see a Miles Turner one here. In my opinion, if the Suns could get Miles Turner, they should do it immediately. He's a perfect fit for Vogel. Defense plus the floor spacing would be insane. I agree with you. Although he's not really that great of a rebounder, is he? But beyond that, I do agree with you. Everyone been saying this, and I'll say it again. We got to freaking say, I think you meant to say or keep DA in our system before we trade him. I agree with you. Okay, let's see. Dame goes to Toronto. Portland gets Ayton and Ish. We get Nurk and OG Anunoby. If only it was that easy, y'all. And look, I was DMing with somebody earlier, and I said I think it's unlikely that Toronto lands Damian Lillard. I don't think it's impossible. I just think it's unlikely. If the Suns somehow ended up with Nurkic and OG Anunoby, whew, again, I know a lot of y'all don't like Nurkic, but I think OG Anunoby would be a fan favorite here. I really believe that. But, you know, with salaries, all that, I don't know, y'all. Your guess is as good as mine. Vision Plasma says, I would rather give it until the deadline if they really want to trade him. And if the return is really good, then sure, I guess. Excuse me. Yeah, I've been saying that for a long time, y'all. Even like right after like our playoff exit, I believe I've been saying that. I said, look, like this is pretty much DeAndre Ayton's last chance. And I really believe that. Backcourt Highlight says, Geek, this is off topic, but who do you think on the Suns is going to shock everyone? Not necessarily off topic, Backcourt Highlights, because this is a Suns show. I'm going to go with kind of my cop-out answer here, because I was hyped when we got him. Yuta Watanabe. And I hope I pronounced his first name right. Utah, however you want to pronounce it. I believe it's going to be him. And I think a comment earlier kind of brought this up about, you know, our floor spacing and everything. But not only that, he did look pretty good in those, you know, games that he played for Japan and everything during the FIBA tournament. You know, keep in mind, like, you know, we've been talking about it all off season long. I mean, he's what, 6'9", I believe. He's got a long wingspan. He hustles, tries to defend. I know that he got absolutely crushed and dunked on by Anthony Edwards and all that a while back, but the dude tries on defense. He can do a lot of different things out there. And again, as Bradley Beal kind of mentioned in the press conference, you got Bradley Beal out there, Book, KD, or at least two of those three, plus Yuta. Let's say Eric Gordon's out there. Good luck. Like Bradley Beal said, good luck trying to stop us. I think Yuta's going to surprise a lot of people. Wouldn't surprise me if Kata Bates Diop surprised people. I think a lot of players on our team are going to shock everyone. But I'm going to go with my cop-out answer and say Utah. Let's see. Just reading the chat. You guys are funny, man. All right. Flex was right. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. That is DA's case at Suns Geek. There's a reason the Suns keep having offers and especially talks with other teams about it. Exactly. And look, I said last live show, I said it's probably a really good thing or a really bad thing, probably a really bad thing that Deandre Ayton keeps getting mentioned in all these trade offers and all that. So the Deandre, it's funny. It's like this is the Damian Lillard saga, but it seems like for a couple years now, it's been the Deandre Ayton saga. And this is just another chapter and story in this saga. I think the sleeper team is Chicago. If anyone steals Dame from Miami, I think Hero ends up going to Indiana, Utah I think Hero ends up going to Indiana or Utah to give Portland extra picks and young players if Miami gets it done. Oh, I have so many negative thoughts on Chicago. I see the vision there, and now that I think about it, I would really like to see Tyler Hero with the Pacers or the Jazz, but the Bulls are so frustrating, man. But hey, I did say about the Bulls, I said they either need a really strong retool, so that would be trading for, Dame, or they just need to completely blow it up. So you might be right, Logan. I don't know. What do I know? Lots of interesting names on those rosters if we want to get involved as a third, fourth team with DA trade. Derek says all DA needs is a mentality and a jumper shot. He can shoot a little bit. I think shooting might be an underrated part of his game. All right, y'all. I know I keep saying this, but final couple comments here, then we're gonna get out of here for real. Utah and Beal are going to open. Sorry, Utah and Beal are going to eat on open corner threes off Book and KD driving kicks. Absolutely. And look, if we keep Deandre Ayton, and if Deandre Ayton is motivated and is playing his ass off, let's say we have a probably unlikely bad shooting night. DA is going to be right there to clean up those messes, and he's going to average his double-double. So, again, to all the NBA teams out there, good luck. Daniel says, something tells me the Suns are going to get back Nurkic in this trade package if Dame goes to Miami, along with Ayton, and Ayton along with Hero goes to Portland. Yeah, we'll see. All right, y'all. I think that's it. I guess at this point, everybody, like I said, just stay tuned, believe who you want to believe, listen to what you want to listen to, and thank you guys for allowing me to come on to YouTube and give my thoughts and kind of recap you guys. I kind of like doing these little recap shows. It was good to kind of go back like 24 hours ago and say, hey, Gambo reported on this, and then PHNX, and now Jake Fisher, and blah, blah, blah. Like, it was kind of cool to like go back and give my thoughts and react to that in live time. That's why I love doing these shows, y'all. And I know I say this every show, but I really mean this. I should say I really mean this. Like, I know there's a lot of great Suns content out there. There's a lot of big networks and podcasts, etc. But you guys allow me to do this, and it is a big part of my life. I have a second job, but like this is like my main priority outside of family and friends. So you guys are the best. I believe I'm at like 8,300 subscribers. So we're on the road to 9,000. Eventually we're going to get to 10,000. And it's literally all because of you guys. And, I know there was sort of a slow period where there wasn't much going on, but I was still uploading as many Suns videos as I could. And you guys know, during the season, training camp, media day, preseason, I'm going to be uploading videos and live shows. It's going to be amazing. I got some big stuff planned. And real quick, before we get out of here, Speaking of big stuff planned, I talked about this last live show. In 2 weeks, I will be in Phoenix. Yes, surprising, shocker. I do not live in Phoenix. I know it's a long story. Maybe I'll tell it another time. But either way, I will be in Phoenix in 2 weeks. So if you see me at like a restaurant or walking around, whatever, please come say hello. Please come be part of the vlog. I'll probably ask you guys for a picture. I'll say, you want to take a picture? Let's do it. You know what I mean? It's good memories, good times. Just please don't come kill me. That's all I ask. It would really suck to, but anyways, y'all, I love you guys. Thank you for the nice comments here. Ryan says, love your channel. Go Suns. M Cole 42 says, great stream. Love the channel. Thank you so much. And Tony says, great stream. Love the insight. Go Suns. And Eddie, even though he was trolling a little bit, says, I've been following you for a while. Thank you, Eddie. All right, y'all. I love you guys. God bless you guys. Stay safe. And just another reminder, y'all, please be nice to people out there. Be patient with people. Be nice and make the world a better place. So I love you guys. God bless you guys. I'm out of here. And hey, maybe we'll see you guys in the morning. Maybe we'll see you guys in the afternoon or tomorrow night, because who knows what's going to happen. But stay tuned to Suns Geek for everything Phoenix Suns. And if it has to deal with the Phoenix Suns, I'm going to make a video or a live show about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. God bless, and go Suns.